say?
When the sunrise comes falling, when the midnight comes calling.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your host, James Meeks, and we're back for another episode of your favorite Black Fatherhood podcast.
Yes, sir. And what's good, everybody? It's your co-host, Jesse Alex, also the co-founder of Dear Fathers, the premier media platform for Black fatherhood. Thanks for tapping in.
Before we get into this dope conversation today, I need y'all to go and subscribe and follow us anywhere you get your podcast today. Jesse, let's dive right in, bro. All right, yo, welcome back to another episode of the Dear Fathers podcast. I'm your host, James Meeks, and we're excited about another impactful conversation we have with today's guest. But before we get started, I'm tapping in with my bro, Jesse Alex. Jesse, how you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm feeling grateful today, man. That's one word that I can use to describe how I'm feeling. I'm going to try not to get too much into basketball and sports. I love to talk about basketball, man. I'm going to try not to overwhelm the convo today about hoops, man. But I'm feeling good about who we got on today.
Yeah, I'm feeling good too, man. You know, I think I was excited about this conversation because, you know, we talked about it. I was a hooper before, you a hooper. This man is a hooper too. So I think there's a lot of synergy there, man. So definitely wanted to welcome your favorite NBA impersonator, entrepreneur, and amazing father, B.DOT, to the Dear Fathers podcast. B.DOT, how you feeling today, fam?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm breathing. I'm living another day to progress and, be great. So I can't complain, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on, though.
Definitely, man. We appreciate you tapping in with us, man. And, for Dear Fathers, man, we really want to highlight the stories that the media doesn't always portray about fathers. Myself, I'm a father of three. I grew up with my father. I know some people haven't been, as fortunate, but when you watch TV, you read articles out there, when they talk about Black fathers specifically, it's not always in the best light, man. So it's always good to connect with other brothers who are doing the right things for their children. They girl dads, they boy dads. We involved. We doing everything that the media says that we don't do. Cause I joke with my friends a lot and say that we always portrayed as the ones that are just sticking and moving. Like we knock a girl out, we on to the next thing. But, I know you're not about that. So we wanted to get into your background, man. You blew up. We've been watching you. Jesse and I both talked about it. We fans, love what you do. The impersonations are funny as hell. But really wanted to learn more about the individual, who Brandon Armstrong is. You know what I mean? So just let everybody know like who you are and what you're about as a father.
Oh, man. Brandon Armstrong, originally from Decatur, Georgia. I grew up there with my mom, single mom. I didn't have a father growing up. It was just my mom. I probably met my dad maybe 2 or 3 times, 2 in my earlier ages, and then once when he's originally from Memphis, Tennessee, and I played like in a little celebrity radio game out there in 2010. But this is when I was in college, before who I am today. And it was cool. It was awkward. It was weird a little bit. Came to the game. I hooped, did my thing and stuff. Just seeing my mom interact. But I think that's probably the last time I've seen him. But other than that, man, I was raised by my mom. Great woman, man, super strong. She's been through a lot, and I appreciate her. To this day, I wouldn't be the man I am, without her. So, like I said, man, I grew up in Decatur, Georgia. Went to high school out there. Ended up playing basketball in Tennessee, Harrogate, Tennessee, for Lincoln Memorial University. Then Spain, Australia. That's where my basketball career kind of popped off. And in 2015, I was on Vine, and then Instagram turned into a whole video thing. And I did a Russell Westbrook impersonation to change my life. The crazy thing about it, I wasn't doing any sports impersonation. I wasn't doing any sports videos. All my videos was like, I was teaming up with guys like Desi Banks and DC Young Fly. Like we were collabing. We're all from Atlanta. And all my videos were like, that blue collar, urban comedy type stuff. And then I just randomly did a Westbrook impersonation, and it just changed my life. So from 2015 to 2018, I didn't play a professional basketball game. I took all that off because I was now like this thing they call it influencer. And it was such a blessing because basketball wasn't like my main priority. I didn't have to try to, work too hard to try to make a team or go overseas and miss out on my family for 6 to 8 months, trying to get that bag in order to, provide for them. So I'm happy, it went that way. And that's really it in a nutshell, just to paraphrase everything in terms of that, of who I am and how I came to, I am today, who I am today.
Nah, that's dope, man, just to hear that story. And I want to kind of rewind a little bit to something you said. You said that 2010 game, that was the last time you seen your dad?
Yeah, like
Uh,
2000, yep, 2010. That would be maybe my 2009, my sophomore, my freshman going to my
yeah,
sophomore year of college. Yeah, in
yeah.
Memphis, Tennessee.
That's crazy, man. I got a story similar. Like I said, I grew up without my pops. When I was in high school, I started on varsity as a freshman, right? So I
Mhm.
guess, I was in the paper a lot. People was kind of talking about, me because I started on varsity as a freshman. And then one day my mom was like, yeah, your dad and his mom gonna come to your game. So they came to one of my games. I remember like looking out, like before the game, we in the locker room, I was looking out. I saw my dad. I was like, oh, yeah, my dad here or whatever.
Right,
And
right.
I can't remember how I played that game, but the only thing that I remember, man, is he didn't even stay the whole game. Like I
Wow,
remember looking up in the stands and like he was gone, like a third quarter. I remember
Wow.
after the game, just kind of asking my mom, like, "Where my dad at?" She's like, "I don't know." That was the last time I seen him.
wow.
Crazy,
That's yeah,
kind of
that's
similar stories.
yeah, man. The actually last time that he reached out to me, I remember, and I was in the airport in Phoenix. This is before I even moved out here. It was 2015, and I was sitting in the airport, and I get a Facebook message. I'm looking
Mhm.
like it's from Bobby Danchers, and it's like, "Hey man, I see you doing your thing. And your mom raised a good man. You know, your mom a great woman. Shouts out to her. Just know she worked hard to get you who blah 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 blah." I sent it to my mom. My mom reply was, "Child, please." Like my mom don't like she don't rock with him at all, man.
Yeah,
Like it's no hatred, like I'm
right.
forgiving, I forgive him, but I don't
Mhm.
forget. And yeah, I just know he's somewhere punching the air.
Yeah,
Like
it
he
gotta
he
be.
gotta
Yeah,
be he gotta be
man.
hot. Like
'Cause
especially
Right.
now that I have children now, he has
Mhm.
grandkids. So yeah,
Mhm.
he's missing out on a lot. But like I said, I don't fault him for anything, whatever situation was, that's on him. But I mean, I appreciate him for not being in my life because I don't know if I'd be the man I am today,
Yeah.
if he
Mhm.
was. So
Yeah, no, that's a great perspective, man. And I think, you have the right mindset about it in terms of like not holding any ill will, because I think the one thing that, we do have to unpack as black men and as fathers a lot more is like, we oftentimes end up in situations where our fathers aren't around, we're younger and things like that. But then as a kid, you don't know the story behind it. And this isn't to make
Mhm.
mhm.
excuses for why people did certain things, but then when you become a father on your own, you understand the trials, the tribulations, the things you have to work through.
Mhm.
So then it gives you a different perspective. So I don't know if you and your pops will ever connect on those things. It might not ever happen, but maybe there will be a chance to have a conversation and potentially have some healing there too, to really
Mhm.
understand what he went through, why he made the decisions he made. And that's not to say that y'all are gonna be, you know, father, son, and be kicking it,
Right,
nothing like that.
right.
But at least, what I'm saying, kind of like what was going through his mindset, back in the day when he decided not to be around to be present, because I'm sure he's punching the air now. You've blown up, you've done really well for yourself. So if I was him, I'd probably be wanting to send you a message every day, like, yo,
Right.
man, like let me holler at you. I'm just so proud of you. But he probably feel away, and pride gets in the way of that a lot of times too.
Now,
Mhm.
but the one thing I am, I do appreciate him for is I was able to meet my his side of the family, all my family that's in Memphis, Tennessee. Like to this day, we're like super close. Like my auntie
Mhm.
Tisha, my cousin. It's so crazy because my cousin Julian, he grew up with my dad. He grew up with Bobby. So he was always like Team Bobby. I always be like, I ain't got no daddy. That was my whole that was my whole spiel that I used to always do. Like I get a bad grade, I'd be like, my bad, I ain't got no dad. It's just like it'd be a joke, and he hated it because he's like, he grew up with Bobby, so he was like, man, you gotta stop talking like that. I'm like, yo, Julian, you gotta understand, bro. He was in your life, he wasn't in mine. I'm not saying this in a
Yeah.
negative way. It's a joke. Like even my DJ name is DJ No Daddy. You feel me? Like I make light of the whole situation,
Yeah.
and so from his perspective, he finally like as he got older, he finally understood like, oh man, you're right. You're right. My bad. I wasn't, I wasn't able to see from your perspective, like
Yeah.
now it's not that he doesn't have like anything, a personal vendetta against Bobby. Bobby's his uncle. He loves him to this day, but he's like, damn, Bobby, you could have, like, you messed up type shit. Like you could have, you could have
Yeah.
came in at an early age. And Bobby, he has other kids. I remember when I first met that side of the family, it was at my half brother's funeral. Never met my half brother at all. He ended up getting murdered on a mistake. Somebody ran into the apartment, thought he was somebody else. And like I had braids at the time and he had braids too. And like to see him in the casket, it was like a crazy resemblance. I was like 13 at the time. I'm like, whoa, this is it's freaky to to meet my
Yeah.
half brother and he's in his
Yeah.
and it's his funeral. But it was, like I said, it was a blessing in disguise. I was able to meet my Memphis side of the family, and to this day, we're like super close. And that's one thing that I do. I appreciate.
That's dope,
Yeah.
man. It sounds like there was a blessing in that, even though you didn't, get to establish that relationship with your pops. The blessing was being able to be connected to the other side of your family that you may not have ever known if that didn't happen. So that's
Right.
really dope. So taking it back a little bit though, because you got us to the NBA impersonations and the Russell Westbrook thing, and I gotta say your Westbrook impersonation and your Harden are like crazy.
Right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
The Harden step back travel joint, like that is perfect. But like when you were thinking about that, what sparked that idea and like made you say, you know what, I'm gonna do the Westbrook? And did you have any idea that it was gonna blow up the way that it did?
Honestly, I didn't, man. Westbrook's my favorite player. At the time, he was my favorite player, still is. And I was just thinking, I'm like, how, like, his player profile picture, he's smiling and all happy, but on the basketball court, he's like a ferocious beast animal, like no friends at all. So the actual title of that was Russell Westbrook in-game facial expressions versus his player profile picture. That was the whole title. And ESPN turned it into a Russell Westbrook beat. Like, I remember Brandon Jennings, he was the one that actually retweeted it and like introduced me into the basketball world. So when he retweeted that video, it was something no one has ever seen before. The basketball world has never seen before. So, yeah, it was just, that's the exact reason I did it. And then once I see that blew up, I was like, okay, let me try guys like Tim Duncan, Tony Allen, Paul Pierce. And then the James Harden ended up coming later after my boy Famous Los 32. My boy Carlos Sanford, a good friend of mine. He's known as the hood analyst on Instagram. We went to college together, been known him for 10 plus years. And he actually did like a 15-second clip, because that's how long it was on Instagram at the time, of James Harden and layup lines and him just Euro stepping. He just Euro. So I always give credit to Los, because if I'd never seen that video, I probably would never have done the James Harden video. So like without Los, that James Harden video would have not have gotten made. So shout out to Famous Los, my boy Los, for doing that. So after that, and I just started giving the people what they wanted, and it just sparked. I'm getting interviews from ESPN. I'm on Jimmy Kimmel. I'm getting followed around by Sports Illustrated. It was like super mind blowing. Mind you, that next day, I was supposed to go to Orlando for Eurobasket summer camp. My flight ended up getting like canceled on some crazy stuff, and I ended up making that Russell Westbrook video that same day, and just changed my life. So like that's the background of that, the whole impersonation and how it started. And like like I said, I wasn't doing any basketball impersonation, any basketball comedy videos before it, and it was just like God put it on my mind. I'm like, yeah, you got to get this done, and I made it happen.
That's wild, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Just to kind of hear that whole story, and just thinking about like that time frame since you have blown up. Like, what's been the most exciting thing that's happened to you since then? Like, what's been, one of your most exciting moments or things that's happened?
I mean, being able to, befriend all the NBA guys I looked up to. Like, I'm sitting here having hookah and drinks with Paul Pierce and Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady was my favorite player growing up. You feel me? Like, I love Kobe, I love AI, but T-Mac was always the guy I rooted for, because he was always going against Kobe. He could never just get over that hump. So just a situation like those, even Baron Davis, me and him, we have a show together starting on season 2. Just stuff like that. I mean, D-Wade, getting invited to like dinner parties with him and Gabrielle Union, and like having conversations with him, LeBron and Chris Paul, just be able to hear, and I don't ever, it's crazy because I'll never like look back on these moments, because like, I don't know, we're all normal, bro. And I treat Barack Obama and LeBron James versus, your average Joe. I treat them the exact same way, because they are human beings, granted their status at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I got these guys' numbers, but it's like, I'm cool. You feel me? Like, I'm not about to, hey, yo, Bron, what you do? Hey, yo, Steph, can you, like, man, I holler at y'all when I see y'all, y'all, it's so, I guess it's stuff like that, to be able to like befriend these guys that I was able to, I looked up to, even to like guys like Terrell Owens, man. Like, that was my favorite. He was the only reason why I bought that NFL 2K at the time when they came out back in like and like for me, like, because I moved out of LA and I was able to actually meet these guys in like celebrity games. Like, for T.O. to be a real good friend as he is, we talked today, and I think it's just moments like those, man. It's dope. Like, when your idols become like your friends type ish. Like it's super surreal. And like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I said, I don't sit back and just mesmerize and appreciate it enough. I just, I just go about my everyday life like, oh, that's dope. All right, it's on to the next accomplishment. So
Yeah, you living
I,
in the moment, which is great. You know what I'm
right.
saying? You value it, but you living in the moment. And I think, when you're probably older and you know what I mean, when your kids have kids, you can go back like, yo, man, did you know that I had LeBron on the text? Like you ain't
Right,
never
right.
seen nothing like that before. You know what I'm saying? So it'd
Right.
be a dope moment to brag with your kids about and your grandkids about when they get older too. So
For sure,
um
man.
but that's a good segue for us, man. Like I said, we love learning more about, the individual, the human behind the celebrity, but we here to talk about fatherhood, man. And
Hmm.
I know there's some exciting things happening in your lifetime. You're the father of new twins, so salute and congratulations on that.
Thank
So
you,
we want to
man.
talk about B.DOT as a father, man. Like, who are you as a father?
I'm my mother. If I could say that, she was my mom and my father. Even on Father's Day, she sends me purses like, it's Father's Day. You got this? You got this for me? I said, yeah, I got you, girl. So I'm everything my father wasn't. And I know that's cliche, but I always said that if I ever had kids, I'm gonna be in their life regardless, just because I didn't have a dad growing up. And I always gravitated towards kids. In the earlier stage, if it was for me watching my little cousins till, now, before my kids, where I have like my friends' kids, they gravitated towards me and they seen how good I was with children. So me, I'm who I am as a father, man. I'm someone learning every day, but appreciating it. And yeah, I think that's what I am. Like I'm my mother and I'm someone that's learning every day, looking forward to learning every day, and it's exciting. Like my situation is different, man. My situation, a lot of people I don't think will be able to handle. I got hood twins, bro. Like I got two kids by two different baby mamas 7 days apart. Like,
That's
yes.
yo,
Yeah,
when you be
yeah.
saying hood twins on social, I didn't know what you was talking about.
Yeah, yeah. My son was born September 1st. My daughter was born September 8th. My son lives out here with his mother, Lindsay, and then my daughter, they live in Nebraska. But how I met them was, of course, they came out here in Scottsdale, et cetera, et cetera. But my situation is perfect. Like they met each other for the first time this past week. My daughter and my son, and it was super dope. Like I established a great relationship with both of my mother's children. I told them that, I wasn't dating you before. I wasn't dating you before. So it's no reason to try to like force the situation. I know that's how it is with a lot of stuff when people have kids and they're not, they weren't dating and it just happened to happen. They'll try to date, they'll try to be together, and it really doesn't turn out well. I've actually, seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
And my whole outlook was it's not about us anymore. It's about the best situation for the child. Like both my baby mamas, they was in the club. They was in the club together with my mom and my nana. I'm DJing. They good. They talk daily. They exchange tips. I'm not. I don't know if I can curse. Oh well, I don't want to curse. I'm not. I'm not loving on her. I'm not loving on her. I'm not treating no one with better than each other. So my situation is perfect, bro. Like I'm grown, man. I'm mature. I'm able to, they know what it is. And it's about what is the best situation, for the kids. And
Yeah.
man, it's a blessing, man. Like I said, my whole career is untraditional, man. How I came up to who I am now, how I'm handling with my kids is untraditional. And I'm like,
Mm.
I love it. Like that's
Mm.
that's what I do. So yeah,
Man,
I got my hood twins, man. Kingston
man,
and Braylon, man.
man,
KB, Kingston, Braylon. Son was born on the first, daughter's born on the 8th. 81. It's crazy how it all like tie into
Yo,
the
that's
whole Kobe
crazy.
aspect. Like,
man.
yes. So,
Let's unpack that a little bit more though, man. That might
yeah.
be that's a dear father's first right here, man. So
Hello.
you finding those, did you find out around the same times with both? And
Well,
how was that for you just kind of
my,
sitting with that, once you first found out that you were having two kids at the same time?
my son mom was on birth control. And how I know it wasn't like a trap, we would have had the baby like in February. So I broke through it. I'm strong. That black man gene just broke through that. So when she told me, I was like, oh shoot, okay. Of course, she asked me if I want to, be together and stuff, and I'm like, Nah, I mean, we weren't dating before. Like, it's gonna be tough to try to get to know you while you're pregnant.
Mhm.
Hormones, emotions, like, let's just keep it about the baby. And if anything happens down the line, then yeah, of course, we'll see what happens. And then maybe like 3 weeks later, I get a text from my daughter's mom saying, hey, are you in a good mood? I'm like, what's up? I'm already knowing what it is. I'm like, what's good? Because she came out New Year's. It was a New Year baby. I was DJing in Orange County at a club called Mansion out there. She flew out, her and her friends. And after the club, we did our thing, Dizzle. And then in the morning you roll over. Just that that morning intercourse. And I guess my pull up game nice. My pull out game wasn't really where it needed to be. And she hit me like 3 weeks later, like boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, all right, well, shoot. I ended up telling her about the other situation. Of course, she felt some type of way, but I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm not dating either one of you guys. We're gonna make the best out of the situation. And I'm the type of guys like, I mean, it's here. It's now what I mean. Now I just got to make it work. It's let's make it happen. I'm not ashamed. I'm not like embarrassed. I'm excited. I got a boy and a girl. I got the best of both worlds now. So we gonna make it work. Look, I'm about to give you her number. I'm giving her your number. You guys are gonna talk because I'm gonna need both of my kids in my life. I'm moving you here within the next 5, 6 months because I need to be around my daughter. Of course, as black men, we got to
Mhm.
be around our daughters.
Facts.
So like, yeah, man, of course, like my heart dropped, them little butterflies in your stomach, but it
Yeah.
was like, all right, bam, all right, it's time what's next? Let's go ahead and make it. Let's go ahead and make this thing work. And I'm making it work and it's gonna continue to be made work. So of course, like I said, I was sweating a little bit. I told my mom was like, my mom is the type of woman, she's my best friend. So as long as I'm good, she's good. And she was like,
Yeah.
B, you're good. Are you fine? Everything good? Are you sure they're your kids? I'm like, yeah, mom, we good. We got all the blood tests and all the DNA tests and et cetera, et cetera. Like, these my babies and we gonna make it work. And she's even happy. She done took out savings accounts. She done spent more money on these babies than anybody. So man, yeah, the situation how it came was super untraditional, but I'm the type of person that is gonna, show fathers and black men and just men in general that you can do it. Like, I mean, it may not be the ideal situation, but you can make it work. It's no
Mhm.
stress, no baby mama drama. Like my
Yeah.
life has been going up since I've had kids. So like I can't complain at all.
Yeah, that's dope. Now, I would say to the fellas out there, I wouldn't recommend you try
Yeah,
with Dot here
yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
purposely go and
yeah.
try to do that.
Very true. No, please protect yourself. Wear condoms, man. I mean, if you're not ready or if you're not, it ain't even because I always thought about having kids about me being financially stable. And I was like, I'm not having kids until I'm financially stable. And this happened, and I'm like, well, shoot, it made me financially stable. It made me have to save money, take out the saving account,
Mhm.
get this life insurance. So by me having kids, I've actually made and saved more money than I had beforehand. Because now I can't just go to Cabo or Vegas or LA and trick off. Like now I gotta like, all right, I gotta plan these now.
We got these babies now. I got to think
Hell,
about college and tuition and all of that. So now
right,
that
right.
makes sense, man. But I'm glad it worked out, man.
Hmm.
Oftentimes, the contentiousness of relationships, especially when you get somebody pregnant and you aren't married or you aren't together, it can go left pretty quickly. And that was really
Hmm.
how my situation started. I have 3 kids, they all with the same woman, but our first child, we weren't even really dating for real, for real. Like we was cool, but we wasn't like
Both of my situations,
in a
right.
permanent situation. So when we found out she was on birth control too, when I found out she was pregnant, it didn't have to be drama. It was like, yo, like I got you, I got the baby, we'll figure it out. And if
Hmm.
I'm not gonna force us to be together, I'm not gonna get married today. But if we do get married along the lines, then cool. And then, we ended up getting married, had more kids, and it all worked out. So, salute to you for being a stand-up guy, mature, and even going as far as, moving your daughter's mom down to Arizona too to make sure like you can be there, you can be present. Cause you're right, man. Like our girls, our babies need us, but our girls need their daddies for real, especially in
Really.
today's climate.
Man, that is, man. That's something you hit a nail. You hit the head on the nail with that. And I was raised around nothing but women. Like my mom, she has two sisters, my nana, my auntie. Like I've been raised nothing around nothing but women. So I have a different respect for a lot of, than most do for women, I always tell women, like, you guys hold the power. Like, people don't understand, man. In today's world, if just a portion or a state, even somewhere in the South, let's just say Georgia and Alabama, for example, if if the women there just out of nowhere get together and be like, you know what, we're not having no more kids. We're about to end childbirth. We're about to end the civilization of man right now until we get our respect. Like, how the world will go crazy. Like, women are the bearers of us, of the world. So I'm like,
Mhm.
y'all hold the power. I'm not saying I hope it comes to that, because they deserve the utmost respect. More, they bear our children for 9 months. That's why I told my mom, I told my kids, moms, y'all can name them. Of course we're not together, we're not boyfriend girlfriend. Of course, I will have my input, but at the end of the day, whatever y'all want to name them, you can name them, because you're bearing this child with you for 9 months. Not saying that we don't do anything, as fathers, but I'm just saying, as from the physical, emotional aspect of, carrying a whole human being in you, like, you guys deserve the world. So yeah, man, I always say, man, shout out to the women out there. Like, y'all hold the power. Don't cry over no man. Don't let no man don't let no man make you feel any type of negative way. Y'all hold the power. Like, we need y'all at the end of the day. So
Facts, bro. 100%. So then, like, going transitioning from there, because I agree with you, man. Like, women are superheroes. We definitely need them. I tell women all the time, black women especially, like,
mhm.
y'all are the superheroes. Like, without y'all, we are absolutely nothing. I know Jesse feels the same way too, being raised by a black woman too. And then, we both, we love and adore Kobe, and what
Yes.
Kobe meant. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so,
that boy right there on my wall right there. Stop playing. He up there.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he behind me right now too. I got the
I
magazines behind me, but
peep that.
you know, uh, for you and talking about being a girl dad, man, because I know I got two boys and a girl, and I always tell people, man, girls are just different, man. It don't matter. You could be the toughest dude ever. A girl changes you, man. So how has being a girl dad softened you up, if at all?
I mean, I've always been a sap kind of guy, but then having my daughter now is it's 100% different, man. And seeing her personality, like my son, oh my goodness, my son and my daughter, they're the complete opposite. My son, he's quiet, really doesn't smile. He gets scared with loud noises. So like when my daughter was here and they were having their photo shoot, my daughter's loud, just screaming, bro, just smiling. Like, if you look at the photos on my page, you'll see like the difference. Like, my son is like mean and monotonous, and my daughter, she's just the world is just all in front of her. Like, she was
Mhm.
crying, not crying, but screaming, scaring King, making him cry. So having my daughter, man, it's different, bro. It's hard to like put in words. It just made me just value life way more. I've always respected women, but it's more just even on a different respect level. Like, I can't be fucking bitches out here with do rags on. I can't be having sex in church socks no more. You feel me? Like, it's different stuff. Like, I got a daughter now. I can't be doing that stuff because I. So it's like, man, it just changed my whole perspective in terms of respect for women even more, and just cherishing every moment with my daughter, because she's the one that's not here with me every day. So I have to, go visit her in Nebraska, and her mom makes it work where they come here and able to, visit for a week span. We're gonna go to Disneyland. We're gonna do stuff like that. We're actually planning stuff. So, man, I love my son, of course, and I love my daughter. But like you said, having a daughter is it just makes you look at the world in a whole different perspective, and it just makes you want to hold yourself accountable for a lot more personal wise. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, I love my daughter, bro. Like, that's gonna be my best friend.
No, that's
Oh,
that's dope, man. And we definitely appreciate just that transparency, even for
You,
when it comes to the dress socks, man. You just
you
gotta
got, I
gotta
gotta be
take
real with it, man. Ain't listen, bro,
Nah,
ain't.
nah, no doubt, man. But even thinking about that, man, just thinking of the balance of it all, it's pretty new to you. And I would assume that time management probably plays an important part of balancing your celebrity, the things that you got going on, from your career to acting, entrepreneurship, to then also being able to make that time, you know, for your kids.
Mm.
How are you balancing it right now? Is it just a matter of like being better with your time management? Or are there any other, you know, advice that you would give out there for fathers just looking to balance kind of their careers and being a new father?
Man, well, my situation has always been super unique, man. I've always been able to like, make my own schedule. So I mean,
Mhm.
of course I travel here and there, for business. And but the COVID happened. So it was like
Yeah.
it made everything more digital for me. That's why I moved from California because I mean LA was cool. Like LA was dope for the first 2 years. I mean, I was going out every night, doing my thing, living life. I'm surprised I didn't have 3 kids then. But so like when COVID happened, it just made everything more easier and more time convenient for me. So I kind of make my own schedule in terms of I can be able to see my son and daughter whenever I want. Now that I DJ, I wasn't DJing as much, but now I DJ Friday and Sundays because that's just an extra bag that I can just, give to
Yeah.
my, my children's mothers. Like it's an easier bag and my cooking and my catering now, I'm able to, I'm able to time management those because it's on my time. So
Yeah.
it worked out perfectly. So I'm able to see my kids whenever I want and whenever I need to, but I also have the respect and the love from their mothers and then understanding that, if I do have to go, visit, go away for a weekend or when we are about to start filming for season 2 of my show that I'm gonna have to be in LA for about a month or two
Mhm.
straight, that they understand that and they're cool with that because they understand that I'm a busy guy and I'm still able to take the time to watch my son on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and I see him on the weekends. Every third week when I don't DJ, I try to get up to Nebraska to go see my daughter. So they really appreciate that, to the point where I don't have to, in their mind, like I don't have to do this, and they're not, forcing me to do it. So they appreciate that, even more. So the advice I give, the fellas out there, if you do have time and if you are busy, but the little time you do have, try to see your kids, like the mother, because they're with their mother 24/7, but the mother appreciates that. They will appreciate that much. Like my daughters, I mean, my son's mom, they just got me a card, a gift card, just saying how they appreciate me. Got
Mhm.
me a little, $50 gift card to some food spots around. Like it's just different
Yeah.
stuff. I get daily texts a week saying how much, they appreciate me taking the time and, being there. And I'm like, I'm their dad. That's what I'm supposed to do,
Yeah.
like, but I guess in the situation I'm in their mind, they're like, I don't have to, or a lot of men wouldn't be doing this or taking the amount of time that I am to see my kids. But like I said, I grew without a dad. So I'm gonna try to be in my children's life as much as possible, as many times as I can. So
Yeah.
yeah, to answer your question, I think that covers it right there. Like just as much as you can, go see your children.
Yeah, man. And I just want to salute you. We got some more gems to get to, but I just want to salute you right now for just stepping up to the plate, being mature about the situation, and taking on your responsibilities and managing everything that you got going on, man. That's really commendable just to hear, that type of story and just kind of learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
people can spin like that could happen to somebody else and it can go totally the opposite way. But you taking it on and just really handled it with grace, man. And I just wanted to salute you for that. And being even that you're a new dad, so we have this segment called Dads and Delivery, right? Because you hear a lot of times about like what women go through in the delivery room. What's that like physically, mentally, and emotionally for them? What was it like for you, like being in the delivery room as your kids were being born? Were you there for both?
Well, for my son, I wasn't able to because of the
Okay.
COVID. I was just via
Yeah.
FaceTime. They were only allowing one person, but
Hmm.
I recorded everything, screen
Yeah.
recorded. But in Nebraska, in Omaha, I was able to be there for it was me, her, and her mom,
Hmm.
and it was man, it was crazy, it was surreal, man. I was there for her. It was a quick birth, but it was just like, oh man, here my daughter's coming. Like, it was like, okay, like I'm just trying to be there as much as I can, as much as I can, rub her head, make sure she Gucci. And then once my daughter was born, like both of my kids, like when my daughter was born, she just wouldn't let go of my pinky. She wouldn't let go of my finger. Like, and to this day, like she's like, I'm the only person that she like, hold my finger or hold my pinky or one of my fingers, like until I like have to pull away, same with my son. So that moment right there was like super surreal for her, like just in terms of like her just holding me and not letting go, and then me giving my, the tummy time and, getting the skin to skin contact. And
Yeah.
it was something I wasn't able to do with my son, so that moment was just it was crazy. And like how we were talking about like how we have to be in our daughter's lives. And for me to actually, be there from the time she was born, till today, it was something that I will never forget. And it's nothing, I can't compare it to anything. So me being in the delivery room, man, it was, man, I had butterflies, my heart was pumping. I felt like I was the one laying down, but I was just trying to make sure, and I know you guys can relate too, that, the mom was just as comfortable as possible, that she was, in the most relaxed state that, she can be. And I appreciate her for allowing me to be in there, because there was so many other people she could have had in there, because it was during COVID too. So, I appreciate it, man. And it was, like I said, I know I keep saying it was just surreal, man. It was just something I can't compare or, really explain, especially being there for my daughter. So being there for my son was dope also, seeing that life come out, even though it was via FaceTime, it was still different. It was like, it was something I've never encountered before. I've never seen a birth. I wasn't there for my birth. Of course I was being born. My mom, it's just me and my mom. So we didn't have, I don't have any other siblings. So man, yeah, dad's in the delivery room, man. It was a dope feeling, man. It was dope. It was
Yeah,
super dope.
that's dope, man. I'm glad you got to experience that too, man. Because I know nowadays, COVID has changed everything in terms of who's allowed in the hospital and things like that. So it's
Hmm.
really a blessing that you were able to be there for your daughter. It sucks that you couldn't have been there for your son, but even to be able to see it, but to get that initial feeling when you see the baby come out and you hear them cry and then they get cleaned up and then you do the skin to skin, like it's a beautiful thing, man. It's something that I know I always remember that, so I'm sure that'll stick with you for the rest of your life, man. So
And to ask you, I know this is supposed to be about me, but I want to ask you, how does it get, it's, I don't want to say, I don't want to say it's a different emotion, but is it surreal? Is it like the same feeling, or is it like you can't prepare for it no matter how many kids you have? Because I know you said you have three. So how was it, for each one after your first one?
it's beautiful every time.
Right.
Every child that I've had, bro, I cried the moment I saw them come out. Like
Mm-hmm.
boohoo crying. And my wife always tell people, like, y'all look at James, y'all think he tough, but when when his babies come out, I just start crying, man, because it like to your point earlier, I'm so enamored with women and what they're able to do. Like they're vessels of life. That's something that God didn't give to us. We can't do what they did. So for them to be there and to grow a human inside of them and then to see that human come out, it's just a beautiful feeling every time. And then you'll see this as you experience it with watching them grow up. It's like now you just remember back to that initial connection and how that connection continues to grow with them as they see you in their life. So me and
Wow.
my kids, we thick as thieves, you know what I mean? Like they always say if they ask like who's the fun parent? Daddy the fun parent.
Right,
So
right,
it's not it's no slight towards their mama, but it's like, we just have that bond with each other.
Mhm.
And I see that when I watch like you at the photo shoot with your kids and everything. Like your kids are gonna be wrapped around your finger, man, for
right.
eternity. So it's a beautiful feeling, man, and it just continues to get better.
That is dope to hear, man. What about your experience, Jess? How was it?
So, and I didn't mention this in the beginning. I know we talked a little bit before we started recording. I actually don't have any kids yet, bro.
Okay.
So again, I started the platform being that I grew up without a dad. So
Mm.
what I always tell people and why I love being the co-host of the podcast is learning from also James and learning from the guests that we have on, man. I feel like when it comes to that time, which
Gonna
will
be
probably be in the next, I'm gonna give it about 2 years, it'll happen. I'll be the most prepared dad that, you know, anybody could be. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And,
right.
just hearing y'all talk about like being in the delivery room, man. I mean, I almost want to shed a little tear right here, man. But you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's an impactful conversation to have. And I know, when I get in that moment, man, it's just gonna be so amazing. Especially
Right.
even more enhanced with just having this platform that is all about fatherhood. Now I'll then be um, you know, actually a father. So, I
Mhm.
Yeah.
appreciate y'all for, sharing these stories because for me it's super therapeutic. And I just, I'm so grateful for, just having these convos with people like yourself.
Nah, for sure. Yeah, you're gonna be. Yeah, yeah. That's dope. Now,
You're
now
gonna
I
have all the
understand. I
cheat
like,
codes, man.
right,
He gonna be the
right.
best dad ever because he been sitting here listening to all the dads rap about it. So he
Right.
gonna be the best
Exactly.
dad ever.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's dope. I like how y'all got it, the perspective, different perspective. Like,
Perspective,
that's
yeah.
dope. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So, some other things we want to talk about, and you hit on it a little bit, but I want to kind of, dive in a little bit deeper on this one. And, it talks about, the media, right? And, Jesse talked about, and I talked about earlier, like the reason Dear Fathers was born was because, there was the market doesn't really talk about black men in this light. They don't paint us in this light where
Mhm.
we're active, we're present. They'll take your situation and say, oh, he's a deadbeat. He got two girls pregnant and he ain't around and he ain't doing whatever. They'll say the same thing about me. Oh, you got her pregnant and you wasn't married to her. But so like, what's one thing you want the world to know about black fathers that doesn't often get highlighted?
Man, as black fathers, something that really don't get highlighted is just, I mean, we are there. We're there for, we're there for our children. I don't want to say that, it's harder for us, but I mean, we do get a bad rap, and which is understandable from the past, and you don't even have to be the past, it's the present, because there's a lot of ain't shit ass fathers out here.
That's
It's a
facts.
lot of, and the one thing that I do want to make known about black fathers, that that kid doesn't have to be your kid for you to be known as a great father. It's a lot of guys out here that's taking care of other grown ass men's kids and doing a hell of a job at it, and they
Mhm.
don't have to. They don't have to at all. So as black fathers, man, we I feel as though when we are in our children's life, we always go that extra effort. We go that extra mile, to make sure they're taken care of, and to make sure that, and it has nothing to do with the publicity. Like, we don't have to put on Instagram or put on social media that, yeah, we taking care of our kids, and I kind of think that's what a lot of the media want us to do, like, to make it known, like, well, if you are taking your kid, why don't we see it? Like, we don't,
Right.
like, that's not the whole job of being a father. Like, I always get like, well, where are the mothers there? Why don't you show the mothers? Like, at the end of the day, bro, it ain't about the mothers. Like, like, y'all gonna see them, y'all will see them eventually, but I don't have to post them on my page. I'm not hiding them at all. Like, it's known, but at the end of the day, it's about my children. It's about, and I'm shedding the light that you can do this. You can have two kids with two different baby mamas, or you can have kids in general and be in their life and make it work, and it'd be the greatest thing ever. You feel me? So that's what I try to portray, and that's what I try to show the media. I show them the good. I show them I show them the fun side. I'll show them the good side. I'll show them me taking care of them, King throwing up on me. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's just moments like that that I cherish, that I wasn't able to post 7 months ago. Now I'm able to, I want to share the world. I want to share my kids to the world. I don't want to hide my kids. Like, I want people to know, yeah, I got two kids and they well taken care of, and they're the best things that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, man, however the media try to portray it, it's whatever they do, man. It's how you handle it. It's how you make it. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's how you want it. It's how you portray it and how you make it happen, man. The media gonna make the media. The media gonna do what they do. The media do stuff for headlines. They do stuff for highlights. Of course, being in the sports world, the stuff they say about the players and the stuff they twist around with it. Like, at the end of the day, man, I got the Dame Lillard approach, bro. It's like, whatever, dog. It's y'all can feel the way y'all feel how you want, portray me how you portray me. At the end of the day, I know that I'm a great dad, and I'm gonna continue to be a great dad. As long as my kids know I'm a great dad, my mom and my peers and everybody around me that I'm great dad, that's all that matters.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, man. And I think, if for the folks who are gonna end up watching this and listening to this, I'm hoping that they take away that, as fathers, like, just remove the excuses. No matter what your situation is, remove the excuses because you have a situation where somebody could have made excuses and said, well, you know what? I got two girls pregnant at the same time. They live in different states. That's just a lot of work on me to, be trying to figure that out. So maybe I'll shoot some child support every now and then, but you making it a point to be present. I'm here.
Right.
I'm in Nebraska. I'm in Arizona. I'm moving her down to Arizona. Like, it's those types of things. It's like, yeah, the situation might not always be what you expected or anticipated, going into it, but just remove the excuses and man up and, take care of your responsibilities because our kids need us. And the one thing about children is they don't ask to be here. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Like, no
mhm.
kid ever said, I want to be here. I want to be born. No, we go and we make them. So we got to make
Right.
sure that we're also taking care of them once they're here. So I love that, man. And your point about, you know, us as men just stepping up and taking care of other people's kids too. Like we should all like, if there's a kid that's in need, whether you're a mentor, a father figure, or just, you know, the biological father, we got to step up and do our part.
Exactly, exactly. My mom would have it no other way. She'll slap me in my mouth if she see me ain't taking care of my responsibilities. Especially if I'm disrespecting women. Mom, they from New York, so you already know. Yeah, they gonna call me out on my shit. So
Well, cool. So then, you know, kind of getting to some of the other stuff about like what's happening in today's world, man. You know, the last couple of years have been crazy with like just political climate, the social climate, the unrest and the injustice that's happening in the world, and there's a lot of things that are happening, and you know, it's one thing for us to have to consume and live in that on a day to day, especially as Black men. Like we have a different perspective because we go through things differently than say our white counterparts do. But you know, how do you feel about raising your children in the climate of the world today? Like, was there any nervousness for you, kind of thinking about, man, I'm about to bring babies into a world that's kind of unstable right now?
yeah, well, my son's mother, she's white. So the thing, like, and she has a great family. Traditional, dad's a pilot, mom works at like an adoption agency. Um, she has two brothers, Navy. It was to the point where like her brother ended up getting, her brother ended up getting, his girlfriend pregnant, and before they had to tell the parents, they had to, he had to, take her hand in marriage. There was that type of situation. So, with that being said, it's like it's not that I'm gonna have to remind my son that he's Black. You have Black in you every day, but you Black, you a nigga, bro. You Black. You feel me? Like if you get pulled over, yeah, you light skinned, but they gonna look at you like, oh yeah, he got some melanin in him.
That
So
melanin, yeah.
that's one thing that I'm gonna have to always, remind him and prepare him about. And I'm gonna be good. Like I have the right people around me. I got the right guys. I got I'm not the hardest guy, but I have friends, and I have people that's been in those situations. I mean, I was recently in a situation like that about 2 months ago where it was a hit and run, and my car matched the description, even though my car has my name on the side of it. It was like a light blue car. I ended up getting pulled over at a gas station, guns. I had to just walk backwards and stuff like that. But it's situations like that where I will, I'll let them know. I have to, remind them like, yo, man, just be on your P's and Q's, Yeah, you're gonna be raised in a nice area. Of course, you're gonna, damn near get whatever you want, but you're still gonna get taught responsibility and let you know that you're no different from your point guard on your team that look like me more than he looks like you. He may be a little darker. Just understand. Don't. Cause I got a friend like that, bro. I got a friend. His mom's white. His dad's Black. His dad's like Green Mile Black, but he's just so like he's so young minded to the point where he doesn't understand like. Well, they should have just been quiet during the whole arrest, and that would never happen. I'm like, nah, bro, like it don't. Like until you get to that situation, you're gonna see he's like light skinned, but you can tell he got Black. And I'm like, until you get, and I pray that he never gets put in the situation. But until you get put in that situation, bro, you gotta understand, like it ain't that easy just to
Right.
be quiet, or it ain't always about just listening to what the officer says. Like it's stuff that goes down in that situation where the officer does something or says something that shouldn't be said or shouldn't be done. So even with my daughter, my daughter gonna be one of those like, who my dad is? Do you know do you know who my dad is? Like, so it'd be easier for her, but just for my son growing up in this world, especially in this Arizona, and it's not the most. It's certain parts it's really racist. Certain parts it's not. It's a great area to raise a kid, but we do have like top 3 police brutality ratings and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's in terms of my son, that's something that I will remind him about, but I'm not nervous or scared or anything because the way I was raised and the way he's going to be raised, he'll be fine. He'll know how to handle any situation that he's put in. Like I'm adaptable. That situation I got put in, the police officers, they thanked me at the end, like, thank you for not, not going crazy or, doing anything, et cetera. So I'm like, listen, man, I just really felt bad for my bro that was with me. He's 21. He's never been in that situation before. Me, I was able to handle it. I was high. I wasn't tripping. I'm cool, man. I'm telling these niggas I'm on Jimmy Kimmel. They asked me, you feel me? They asked me like, what's the dot for it? I'm telling them I'm bringing out the woodworks. I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Kevin Hart was at a dinner with me last night. You know, like
you gotta pull out all the name droppers right there.
All that stuff. I'm like, listen, I make good money too. I voted for Trump. You feel me? Like, you feel me? So, man, other than that, man, it's just certain situations you just got to be able to handle and adapt to it. I was raised around I went to school with white people. I was a homecoming king. You know, my college, I was predominantly white. So I'm very adaptable. My name is Brandon Nicholas Armstrong. I can get in any Ivy League school I want to without them having to see a picture of me. So that's one thing I am going to teach my kids, just being able to be adaptable in, in situations like those.
Nah, that's cool, man. I think it's all about, just educating them, right? Doing the best that you can. A lot of times, they won't know what that feels like until they're in that situation, praying that they will never be in that situation. But a lot of times it's kind of like, you don't know, what you'll feel like or how you react until you're there. But just educating them on the simple fact of this is an issue. You may run into this. And if you do, this is how to respond.
Yeah.
This is how to adapt to that type of situation. And just kind of rewinding back a little bit, just talking about your upbringing. And this even kind of goes into, you right now. Your father wasn't around, right? You had, your grandma, your mom, she had 2 sisters. Did you have any male, father figures in a sense in your life to help you kind of navigate, or what did that look like?
My mom's older sister, Debbie, she was with her, she's been with her husband. I think they got married. I was 1 year old when they got married. So they've been together before then ever since. So he was kind of like my Uncle Phil, because he's like the vice president of this insurance company. He's like, pretty well off, a very successful man. So, and he has a son and he has a daughter. And Jared, I think Jared's like 24, so he's like 6 years younger than me. And but at that time it was a different, I'm 12, he's 6 type stuff,
Right, yeah.
So like it was always, I'd be playing with him, he'd get hurt, I'd be like, chill, I'll get you some ice cream. Don't tell your mom type stuff. So Carlton was kind of like my Uncle Phil, because my mom, she worked a lot. She's a research nurse, so she was always at the hospital. So I spent a lot of majority with them. So Carlton, he was like my male figure, like growing up, and he's like the perfect, ideal of, Black man that came from, nothing. And, to something built, he wasn't always, wealthy. He wasn't always, the vice president of, of insurance company. So just, he was the guy that, taught me a lot, taught me how to be a man. He was my coach for a lot of my baseball, and my extracurricular activities. So Carlton Manor, shout out to him. So yeah, that was like the male father figure in my life growing up. But he was really the only one. I had my other uncles on my, the Armstrong and the Hood side of my family. Like, yeah, I was raised in like Glenwood. Like that's where like 21 Savage and them from. And crazy thing about it, like 21 Savage was best friends with my cousin who murdered. That's the whole reason why he has that knife. My cousin had the knife in the middle of his head. My cousin Tay, he ended up getting murdered when 21 Savage, when they both got shot. And the crazy story about Tay is when he got shot, he wasn't dead, but he looked at it. He told the dude like, "Shit, you might as well finish it off if you're gonna do it like that." So thank God my mom got me out of that, out of that situation, out of that part of the neighborhood. And but I was still, I had a lot of my uncles around. They were the hood uncles. My Uncle Dex, my Uncle Sid, he actually had like a called Armstrong and Sons, a lawn mowing service that I would help out with. So my Uncle Sid and my Uncle Mike, they were father figures. They weren't in my life as much as my Uncle Carlton was, because we ended up moving away from that area, but we're still close to this day. And my Uncle Carlton was like my father figure, and like the perfect prototypical like family man. They're still married to this day, and he just does everything right,
No, I think that's dope that you had a figure like that around to kind of help, guide you along the path. I think it's important, for people like us who grew up with our fathers to have that father figure or some type of mentorship, man.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's dope. What's your relationship like to this day? I'm pretty sure he's pretty proud of you.
So man, what he happy for me now? He'd be like, Brandon, let me know when you. He said, you got an extra room in that penthouse up there? I'm gonna come up there. So I know you got the ladies up there. Of course, he'd be just joking, but he'd be like, all right, now I'm gonna need some money because he used to always hit me off and
Mhm.
help me with it. So he's like, look, I'm gonna need a little cash here. Mind you, he's perfectly fine, but
Yeah.
our relationship is dope, man. He's a great man. Of course, we had our bumps in a row because he
Yeah.
was he was a disciplinarian. Like we used to get our ass towed up, like go pick that switch out of the
Mhm.
backyard type stuff. But that's how we was raised in the South. It ain't, it
Yeah.
made me who I am today. So I appreciate him and like, yeah, we're real good. We talk every week, and he's super excited. He's like, about time he had some kids. And when I'm gonna see my grandbabies. I mean, we're here like so. Our relationship is really, really great.
That's dope, man. So we have a special part of our segment and our interviews, man, where we really want to put it on our guests to if you were to write a letter, like hypothetically, to your father, starting with your father, what would you say?
Man, I guess I'd be like, dear father, dear Bobby, dear father. I appreciate without you, I wouldn't be in this world, so I appreciate you, for, making me, being, a part of my creation. Um, I forgive you, for whatever you was going through or, whatever you did, in terms of the situation where you had to, maybe you and my mom didn't get along or, you had other obligations because I know you have other kids out there. But at the end of the day, I don't hate you. I forgive you for, everything you've done. I don't fault you for it. I have no hatred towards you. I wish you the best. You know, um, Maybe one day we can sit down and have a conversation, and see what it was like for you. Not saying that we're gonna go to Disneyland or I'm gonna invite you out here and we're gonna come to my celebrity games or we're gonna go play golf. Other than that, but I am open to, sitting down, hearing your side of the story and, seeing where you are right now in life. And, if I do get the opportunity, dope. If I don't, cool. Uh, I probably wouldn't hop right into it like you just automatically meet your grandkids. We'll probably have to develop a relationship, a rapport for one another. Because at the end of the day, I don't really know you like that. But I'm not canceling out the fact that I wouldn't mind to get to know you, And, at the end of the day, man, wherever you are, wish you the best, successful, success and health wise. And, hopefully I can be a way better version of you. And I actually am going to be a way better version of you. Nothing against you, but just know that I won't do how I did my children, how you did me and your children. And like I said, there's nothing to fault you, and I'm open to talk about the situation. But at the end of the day, I appreciate you because you made me who I'm. You made me into the man I am today. If you were not in my life, if you not being in my life made me a way better father, and it's going to continue to make me a way better father. It's going to make my son a way better father, and it's going to make his kids way better fathers. And it's going to make my daughter be able to choose the man that she wants to be, a better father than I was. So sincerely, B.DOT.
That's powerful,
Yeah.
bro. That's
Yeah.
real powerful. Go ahead, Jesse.
No, I was gonna say, man, I just appreciate your transparency and being vulnerable in that, man. That's kind of why we do that, man. It's just to kind of let it out. You know what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
want to create different safe spaces, for Black men to kind of share those thoughts and those feelings. And I hope y'all able to, kind of hash it out, one day. It ain't gotta be, all buddy, father and
Mhm.
son, but it may get to that, it may not. But at least, hoping y'all able to kind of touch base at one point, man. Never know
Right.
what'll happen.
Never know. We never know the things we may have in common or we enjoy that we can,
Right.
I do remember our last conversation, man. I remember we was on the phone. I was in college, man, or I was in high school, and I remember him asking me, I don't know why I remember this, bro. He asked me what was my favorite cereal. And I was like, Frosted Flakes. And he was like, do you put the milk in before or after? And I was like, I put it in after. And I was like, Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops. And he was saying something about Frosted Flakes getting soggy or something. That's the last like conversation I remember, like in general, bro. And it's crazy because I don't ever like think about stuff like this. I don't ever
Yeah,
talk about stuff like this. So I
right.
appreciate, this is new to me. So I'm not
Yeah.
an emotional person. I don't really, I'm the guy that I got to make sure everybody else feel good. Like I'm the
Mhm.
person that's like, I feel like that's my job. That's like my obligation. Like I hate seeing somebody else down or sad. I feel like, I gotta make sure. But it's not like no Robin Williams thing, like where as a comedian that I'm casting out my feelings to the point that I don't like, look in the mirror and make sure I'm good to the point where I have mental health issues or, personal problems. Nothing like that. I'm very stable mentally, but I really don't just sit back and like, you know,
Reflect.
realize like, yeah, just sit back and look like, oh damn, I need to take a me day. I need to make sure my mental is good, or instead of making sure everybody else good, I gotta make sure, I'm Gucci. So I appreciate this, man. This is something that I ain't ever, done or even like talked about outside of like my personal relationships, like with, past girlfriends or something like that. So
Yeah.
shout out to y'all, bro. Yeah.
Outside of the pillow talking, you ain't never dove deep. Huh?
Right. Nah, not even with the homies, nothing like that. So it's like the rapport, the confidence I have with you guys it's next level, bro. So I definitely appreciate that, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on and me being able to tap into, feelings that I've never even tapped into.
Yeah, no, that's dope, bro. And I think, as men, we got to do that more. You know what I mean? We oftentimes shut our feelings out and we don't, want to discuss them amongst each other. And, it's important to have these conversations and to understand that you have other brothers who can lift you up, and to share your experiences. They can share theirs with you. And then hopefully at the end of the day, everybody's pulling each other up and moving forward. So, I think my hope is that, based on that letter you wrote, that you and your pops do at some point get to connect. I pray that he sees this one day, you know what I mean? And it touches his heart to reach out to you to really kind of set up and, figure out, can you two learn more about each other, man? So I'm hoping that happens for you because I do think it'd be therapeutic if nothing else.
For sure. And y'all will be the first people I'll let know.
Hey,
we're gonna have to do another whole, do a whole nother episode.
We got another episode on deck just for that, bro. But before we get out of here, man, we know you have a lot of amazing things going on. So we definitely want to highlight that, you know what I mean? Like Jesse and I were both tapped into the whole the DOT experience. So like tell us about like what's next for you. What is the DOT experience and like what can we see out of you coming up?
Man, I love cooking, man. My grandma taught me how to cook. The DOT experience basically is how it came about. My best friend Zay, him and his girlfriend, they've been dating for about 6 months. And Zay, he's never been like the actual like romantic sap type person. Him and his last girlfriend, they dated in college, and after college they lived out here together. But excuse me, even then he wasn't like, like romantic or sentimental. Me, I'm a cakey person, bro. Yeah, I'm talking about further than edible arrangement. I'm talking about 6-foot bears, different stuff like that. I'm finding pictures on your Instagram from your childhood, putting them on the card type stuff. So he would ask me, he was like, hey man, I know you got the edible arrangement plug, or, I want to get her a bear. Can I just pay you? I said, bro, be in my crib, 7 p.m. on Monday. I got you. And I just ate one of my Dotables, which is my homemade edibles I make. And I just had this idea. I'm like, let me change my balcony, made it into a whole restaurant, roses, boom, boom, boom. And then my best friend was like, the DOT experience. And so now, like today, I have to cook for a 4-year anniversary. It's basically a DOT experience. It's a 4 to 5 course meal on my balcony, ranging from $250 to $350. Way cheaper than what you get at your average steakhouse, your SDK, your Mash Rose, Roof Chris, et cetera, et cetera. And it's on the 30th floor of my penthouse balcony. You oversee downtown. Like this is the view right there. Like you oversee all that.
That's dope.
And I'm your personal waiter. I cook for you, whatever. And the dope thing about it is there's no set menu. It's whatever you want to cook. It's whatever you want me to cook. I can cook anything. I don't eat beef or pork, but I can cook anything. And it's also dope because it's a challenge for me now. Even though I've never cooked what you asked, I get to now cook it and add it to my DOT Eats page, because that's my page where I have all my foodies and all my, my chef dishes. So it's basically just a personal experience of you and your confidant, or you and a friend, and you able to have a great meal, great conversation, damn near unlimited alcohol, free bottle of wine, all for the price of $300. And it's just a dope experience. So that's the DOT experience. And everything. What else I got coming up, man? We actually got picked up season 2 of WTF Baron Davis by a major network. I don't know if I can say the network. I mean, I know we signed a contract and I know we have a conference call on like March 16th, but you guys gonna be the first person I'd sell, but I don't think I'd already signed a contract, so I can't get in trouble. But we got picked up by TBS.
That's
and
bro. Congrats.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. So now it went from like 14-minute episodes to 22-minute episodes. And I'm super excited about that because of course everyone knows me from the, the sports thing, the impersonations. And it's now that I'm able to, show people me in a different light, to the point where I just uploaded a freestyle and me like rapping, and it got like 72,000 views, which is a lot for a non-sports video on my page. So I'm known as Mr. Do Everything. So I'm trying to show the people that like, it's more than just impersonations. Like the basketballers will get my foot indoors, but I'm gonna show y'all my talent and show y'all what I really got going on. So be on the lookout for more music, more catering businesses. I'm about to buy a gym, about to buy 2 gyms out here. And I'm really excited about the WT of Baron Davis, because that's legacy money in terms of where I'm able to take care of my family. Like,
yeah.
And that's what I'm super excited about. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I watched the first season.
Oh, that's love, man. Appreciate you.
Watched the first season, so I'm excited about it. I don't know if you know, so our last season of our podcast was sponsored by Black Santa, Baron Davis.
It's crazy how everything come full circle, man.
Yeah, and I actually got a call with them next week. So to continue those collaborations. So we tapped in with Baron too, man. So to kind of see that coming back and being picked up by TBS, man, I'm excited for it. So.
Speaking of fathers, man, Baron's a great father, man, to his kids, man, and not even just to his kids, just to the Los Angeles community where he was born and raised, the Black Santa. Like that's even something like, us growing up, as Black men, we'll go to the mall, we sitting on a white Santa lap. You feel me? Like just a traditional, and it's not even to be about, it's not even a color thing. It's just about that Black Santa, that Black father figure being there for you, even though, exactly, man. So, man, BD was always ahead of his time, man, and still is, man. So, and that's somebody I look up to as a mentor, man. Even as I don't even want to say as a father figure, but I look at the traits that he do and how active he are with his kids, and his kids' mothers not being together, and the relationship they have is just, that's amazing, man. Shout out to Baron, man. He's like a true mentor and like somebody that I definitely look up to, man, in terms of in the fatherhood area.
Shout out to BD, man. He's definitely one of the most slept on PGs ever, because BD was cold, boy.
Come on, man. Come
but
on.
Hey, Dot, I gotta ask you 2 tough questions before we get out of here.
Talk to me.
They're gonna be tough now, just based on what I've heard you say in this conversation. We're doing a start, bench, cut.
Okay. Who are these? Talk to me.
Russell Westbrook.
Relationships aside, you got to answer them straight up.
Oh yeah. I'm non-biased at all.
Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Dame Lillard.
Oh, I hate you. Okay. And it's so crazy because those are my 3 favorite point guards. I freaking hate you, bro. In the all non-biased aspect, that Steph and Dame is tough because I can start either one of them. Steph's situation, what he was in with the Splash Bros, even though that situation was, they got those guys from the draft. You feel me? It wasn't a bought super team. So, man, I'm gonna have to. I gotta start Steph. I'm on bench Dame, and I'm gonna cut Russ.
How you gonna cut your favorite player though?
Hey, it ain't about it. It's about what they've done on that court and what Dame. And honestly, I can easily switch Dame and Steph around after what happened last night, because Dame's the most clutchest. He's the most clutchest person in the game right now. I could do that, but Steph changed the game, y'all.
He did.
Like, he changed the game. You feel me? Like, and people like to remember that Golden State Warriors team is just 3-pointer. Like, no, they had the #1 defensive efficiency. They were also 3rd in points in the paint. Like, let's not just say it was just a 3-point shooting team. So
people get so caught up in that shooting, man.
They do. But I got to, man. It's and Dame put Russ out in the playoffs. Like, we gotta look at those. We gotta look at those aspects too. So I'm starting Steph, benching Dame, and those 2 can easily be swappable. But I'm sorry, Russ. I love Russ to this day.
Yeah.
He's one of the most harder working, one of the most underappreciated point guards in the game just because of how his attitude is on the court.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to go with those
Yeah.
two guys, man.
But that game last night, real quick on that before my second hard question. That game last night, the difference between Steph and Dame, in the beginning, the Warriors was doubling Dame off the pick and roll.
Mhm.
Dame wasn't getting a lot of shots up in the beginning of the game. That's because he relies on that pick and roll one-on-one, kind of, take you off however he's going to get you. The
Mhm.
difference between Steph is if you double him off the pick, he going to drop it to Draymond and keep running.
They keep running.
Mhm.
He going to keep running.
Never stop.
So he going
Mhm.
to get his shots regardless. So I think, like you said, they are interchangeable, but I think Steph without the off-the-ball movement just him from like other players who don't do that much movement without the ball.
No, for sure. And that's why he had 35 and Dame had 22. But that's why I
Yeah.
like Dame, because Dame was patient with his.
Yeah.
Dame was like, okay, y'all gonna double team me. That's cool. All right,
Mhm.
bam. What score? 106, 108.
Right.
Boom. Let me go ahead and hit this 3 to
Get
Yeah.
out of here.
close the
They was-
game. You feel me? So
They was
It's-
doubling them up and it was still a close game. So yeah, he was patient with it.
mhm.
All
So,
right,
yeah,
second one, man.
talk to me.
I'm trying to think who the third person. So we definitely start bench cut Kobe, T-Mac, James. Who you want to be the third person?
Nah. Just go, bro. Just go ahead and give me the hard question. Start bench cut. Kobe, Bron, or MJ. Just go ahead and give me the. We'll do it like that.
Let's
All
do
right,
that
yeah,
one
do
then.
that one.
All right.
You done put yourself in the whole predicament.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm starting MJ. Greatest player of all time. I don't care. In this day and age, if MJ played, he averaged 40. And it'd be all mid-range. Just because with the hand check, all that, man, MJ is a killer. It's a tough one. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have. They're gonna hate me for this one, bro. I don't care. I don't care at all, bro. I love Kobe. I'm cutting Kobe. And the only reason why, because I got MJ. And I'm putting this in just basketball perspective. So I got MJ. You feel me? I don't need Kobe to come off the bench. You feel me? I'm benching Bron, because Bron is the best all-around player we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to, and Bron is the only person, and no offense against Kobe, no offense against, God rest his soul, no offense against MJ. LeBron is the only person that you can put on any team in the NBA right now, and they are automatic playoff contender. They are automatic low to the playoffs. You feel me? Like, it's tough to put Kobe on that Washington Wizards squad they have right now and be like, okay, he can. They may sneak into the playoffs.
Right.
I put Bron on that Wizard team with Bradley Beal. Oh, they're the favorite to win the East. They're the favorite. You feel me? I put Bron on that OKC team with Shea Gilchrist and Lou Gortz and however you say his name is. Oh yeah, they're gonna be a top 3 team in the West. You feel me?
Yeah.
I can't do that with Kobe or Jordan. You feel me?
Mhm.
But Jordan got 6 of them, and Jordan is an assassin, and Jordan is Jordan. I don't see anybody. Only person I can see, like, if it's like in a one-on-one matchup, is Kevin Durant. That's the only person that can give Jordan fits in a one-on-one game. I think those are the 2 best one-on-one players we'll ever see. No offense to James Harden. I like James Harden, but I don't think he'll be able to guard Jordan in a one-on-one matchup, or Kobe. But so I'm starting Jordan, bench LeBron, I'm cutting Kobe from a basketball perspective.
Yeah, I'm with both of them actually, because I'm for as much as I respect Kobe and Bron, Bron is my current favorite player. MJ is the GOAT. And Jesse and I talk about this because Jesse don't like the fact that nobody will ever relinquish MJ from being the GOAT. But I'm just one of them people that I ain't seen it yet. So until somebody show it to me, MJ is my GOAT.
Right. You haven't seen it because Jordan was playing against Jeff Hornacek.
I think they had a picture. They had Jordan played against a mayor.
Yeah, that's a whole. I could do a whole nother show on that, man. Now we definitely appreciate you, man. Again, another therapeutic conversation for me. I'm glad we got to talk hoops at the end, though.
Hell yeah, man.
Good convo, man.
Man, it's your main man, B.DOT, man. I'm rocking with the Dear Fathers podcast, #1 fathers podcast out there. Shout out to them, man. Dear Fathers.
Thank y'all for listening to another impactful conversation on the Dear Fathers podcast. It's your host, James Meeks.
and your co-host Jesse Alex. But before we get out of here, make sure you subscribe anywhere you get your podcast, and we'll catch y'all next time. Salute.
My own CD cover. I'm so focused, ass Steven Glover. Still up and coming, but for sure coming. Went out on a limb like I broke something. Watch how he recover.